In the middle of an outdoor mall called Arborland, in icy cold Ann Arbor, Michigan, just south of Detroit, there was a small Hansel and Gretel type gingerbread cottage, the house of the one and only St. Nick. As an only child, my parents and I had a very simple holiday tradition of going to that outdoor mall to look at the decorations. As a kid, I was obsessed with Christmas, the lights, the trees, the presents, and especially Santa Claus. It's all about belonging, about being invited to the party. We didn't celebrate Christmas because here's the problem. We're Jewish. I heard it. Sort of. We're sort of Jewish. We never celebrated anything remotely Jewish, but it was always the default response when I wanted something related to Christmas. I want to visit Santa Claus. We're Jewish. That was always the response. And that was that. My birthday is New Year's Eve, and to save face at school when the other kids asked what I got from Santa, I usually lied and told them about a birthday present my parents gave me, pretending it was actually a Christmas present from the big man himself. But down deep, I always wondered why I didn't get a present. What did I have to do to be a part of Christmas? The song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, was my guiding light. As long as I was good, and I tried to be good. Oh my gosh, I tried to be good. But as long as I was good, I should have been given a Christmas present, just like all my friends. But every year on Christmas Day, there wasn't a present for me anywhere. Why? I don't know. Maybe I was bad. I was going to resign myself to a life of Christmas banishment when I suddenly had an idea of how to get the key to the club. You see, I figured out that you had to tell Santa Claus what you wanted for Christmas. I mean, the old man wasn't a mind reader. He didn't know what to bring. That had to be the reason I was the only one on the outside looking in. I put my plan to action during our trip to Arborland. My mom and dad were strolling past the storefronts that sparkled with Christmas decorations, and I stopped at Santa's cottage and pointed to a line of boys and girls who were standing just outside his home. I said, I have to see Santa. Santa doesn't visit Jewish children, was my mother's answer. But this time, I was armed with a plan. But how do you know? What if Jewish kids don't get a visit from Santa because they don't visit him in his gingerbread house? And if the Jewish kids don't visit him, they can't tell him what they want. What if that's the reason I never got a Christmas present? My mom and dad exchanged a sidelong look. They silently whisked me to the car, and we headed home. That night, I woke up to my parents fighting in the kitchen. I pressed my ear against my bedroom wall, and I could make out a few of the words. Left out. We're terrible. Why do I listen to you? The next evening after dinner, my mom came into my room. Get your coat on. We're going to Arborland. I sat in the back seat of the car, looking out at the frosty window at all the twinkling, multicolored lights that danced and pulsated and glistened. An underscore of a rhythm like a beating heart, matching the melody of the song. Gotta be good for goodness sake. I suddenly felt like I was about to be on the same page as the rest of the world. When we made it to Santa's cottage, the three of us waited in line in the cold. A slow, gentle snow started to softly tumble from the sky like puffs of cotton balls sticking to my clothes. And I tipped my head back, and I stuck out my tongue, and a few errant snowflakes felt cold against my teeth. My mom and dad stood quietly next to me, each of them lost, as always, in their own thoughts. We finally made it to Santa's front door, and we were met by an elf with a painted green face and pointy shoes with bells that jingled when we walked. Are you ready, kid? I nodded. Do you know what you're going to ask Santa? I nodded again. I glanced at my mom and dad. Be sure to say please, my mom said. Ask for the stars, my father said with a smile. And I took a few steps into the cottage, and suddenly I was confronted with the old man himself. And he was the exact image of the pictures in the magazines. He was round and jolly, and he had a twinkle in his eye. "Come here, Sonny. Come and tell Santa what you want for Christmas." And the green elf helped me onto Santa's lap. "Have you been a good little boy?" "Yes, sir. I've been very good. I sing the song every day." "Song? You better be good, for goodness sakes." And of course, Santa gave that quintessential laugh. "Why don't you come up here and tell Santa exactly what you would like for Christmas?" "Well, I would like a G.I. Joe with a kung fu grip." "You can count on it. It's in the bag." And the green elf helped me down off of Santa's lap. And it was now time to prepare for the results. That night was Christmas Eve. My dad and I were watching Miracle on 34th Street. And suddenly there was a news bulletin that flashed on the screen. An unidentified flying object had been spotted traveling over the North Pole. "You better get to bed," my father said with that same smile that I saw when we were at the cottage. "Santa doesn't come to houses where the kids are still awake." How did my dad know the rules? He had been holding out on me after all of these years, so it really didn't matter that we were Jewish. I was right all along. A kid only needed to talk to Santa, and the presents and the tree and the lights would all come together. The next morning, my eyes opened with the rising sun. Christmas Day. I climbed out of bed and rushed to wherever Santa may have left my presents. But at first glance, there was no clear indication that the old man had been around at all. I looked at the kitchen. I even looked underneath the sofa. I even checked the bathroom, but there was nothing. I knew I had been good, for goodness sake. But where was the payoff? Then my mom and dad shuffled into the room. My mom was holding a wrapped present. "Santa wanted to give you an early birthday present." I took the package from her and ripped through the wrapping paper and uncovered a 2001 Space Odyssey action figure. I didn't care that it wasn't a G.I. Joe with kung fu grip. It was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. And my mom and dad smiled at each other and turned back to bed. And I tore out the 2001 Space Odyssey action figure with its packaging, and I turned the box into a spaceship, and I played all Christmas morning. I later got the G.I. Joe with kung fu grip for my birthday. And I couldn't wait to get back to school and tell my friends what Santa brought me during winter break. See, I was in the club now. And it felt really good, for goodness sake.